You are shooed away whenever you wander too close to the guest room, only allowed in once, a few days after Caroline's arrival. It had taken hours of pleading to get your mother to agree to such a thing, everyone abuzz in their own curiosities. It was all you could do to lie awake and stare into the darkness, mind caught on the burn of her eyes. But the girl lying in the bed hardly looked the same. The dirt that had been caked like a second skin was thoroughly scrubbed away. It revealed that her hair was not a brown, but rather an amber-tinted blonde, cropped close to the scalp with the curl around the edges of her face that was pale, gaunt, and young. The few sections of her skin that were not covered by bandages left expanses of purple, bursting into a sickly yellow. She was so still that you had to wonder if she was even alive. But her chest continued a stuttering rise, and her face twitched in seemingly unpleasant thoughts. You were ushered out with the arrival of the doctor, only minutes after entering. The days had passed and quickly fell into weeks. Caroline continued to slumber. Doctors were called, letters were sent. Maids whispered rumors of her eventful arrival, of the circumstances that led her here. The distance between your two residencies stretched miles through the thicket in some sort of mockery of neighbors. It was much too far to be traversed on foot, let alone by a child. And yet, here she was, an impossibility. She was a miracle. You were one of the first to hear about her awakening. You had taken to lingering around the hallways as if you had some reason to be there, but you didn't join the rush. Not when you're certain that you would simply be turned away. Instead, you waited. The seconds turned to minutes, turned to hours. Pacing your room, you stared through the window until the doctor's carriages pulled away one by one. You waited, longer still, until the sun had dipped below the horizon and the day's work begun to settle. Only then did you slip into the hall, making your way with careful steps, lucky to avoid any encounters. You were able to enter her room without much fuss. It's a surprise to see that she's really awake, sitting up in bed with her face towards the open window. A nice night in spring, the cool air gently settles the room. She only turns with the quiet click of the shutting door. There's no startle. Her movements are slow, weighted. It's now you see her eyes are not the bright flash that you'd first believed. Rather, more muted, the smoldering embers of a dying flame, the ripe flesh of sour cherries, the still wings of a butterfly on the bark. She regards you with something like wariness. You wet your lips. "Hello," you start, keeping your voice a low murmur. "My name is Danielle Askter."
That's a stupid name.
You choke at the words, recoiling with a sudden lack of air. "What?"
I said that's a stupid name.
There's an edge to the words, as if her voice doesn't quite fit in her throat, like the strain of two mismatched puzzle pieces. It leaves you grimacing, unsettled. An awkward pause stretches out into a silence until she's suddenly looking back to the window with a heaving sigh.
Stupid name for stupid person, it seems.
Heat flashes through your body, some emotion curling inside your chest that falls halfway between anger and embarrassment. You clench a fist and tense your shoulders, voice coming out remarkably steady as you say, "I wanted to make sure you were okay."
I'm fine.
She spits, voice raising before cutting off in a sudden cough. She gasps a breath and leans forward, knees coming up to her chest, hidden beneath the blankets.
Caroline Kloet never dies. Never, ever, ever. So shut up and leave me alone.
There's a few moments as she pants, looking impossibly small in the bed, before you turn around and open the door. You make your way to your room without sparing a glance backwards.